What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to the Sports Exchange. Got another solo show, but today we are getting into NFL action, and we're going to start right now. All right, we're going to start in the NFC North, where once again the Lions are taking on the second place team. Actually, no, when the Lions and Vikings played, I think, Lions were second. Then they took the top spot, but now they're fighting for first place again. This time it was against the Green Bay Packers. We heard it multiple days leading up to this game, how about like Jared Goff and the Detroit Lions are a dome-only team. They can't win in cold and rainy elements. That might have been true in the past, but Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes have built this team to play in any element. We heard Dan Campbell in the post-game conference, kind of like a little bit of Dr. Seuss that I heard, who was it, Rich Eisen who was talking about on his show. He's like, oh, we can beat you in the ring. We can beat you in the, like, whatever. I thought it was hilarious. But no, the defense did give up 411 yards, but only surrendered one touchdown, and that was with 4 minutes remaining in the game. I don't know if you credit that to Jordan Love with that groin injury. Josh Jacobs had a tremendous first half with almost getting 100 yards, but then he only ended up with 98 rushing yards. So they kind of, credit goes to that. I mean, Lions were up big. They had to throw it. So I get it. Brian Branch being ejected for his hit on Packers wide receiver Bo Milton. First it was unnecessary roughness, 15 yards. Then the refs get a call from the New York office and said, no, Brian Branch is gone. Then Brian Branch goes off, started flipping off the crowd. Another flag, another 15 yards. So here's my perspective on the call with Branch. Was it a bad hit? Yes. Branch needs to bring his target level down, as Dan Campbell explained in his post-game conference, whatever you call it. I'm mixing up with words right now. But I do agree with, what I don't agree with is the call from New York. They already made a call throwing out someone else, Puka Nacua in the Rams game for throwing a punch. That one I get. That's understandable. These hits happen all the time in games. He didn't have any ill intent. It's not like he was headhunting. He was just with the receiver going down, and the way he went down, it aimed, or it just connected in that certain way. So I don't think it deserved an ejection. I don't know. It's just a weird call. I didn't like it. I didn't like him being thrown out of there. It's Detroit's best defensive player out there that they lost, since they don't have Aiden Hutchinson with an injury. But still, the defense showed up. Kirby Joseph changed the momentum of the game with a pick six right before halftime. This whole defense has really stepped up after the injury of Aiden Hutchinson. You got Lee McNeil, DJ Reader, James Houston, Levi Onwuzurike. They're all doing the best that they can right now, but they're still not getting any pass rush. And they need it. If they want to contend, they're the best team in the NFL right now. But going down the stretch in the playoffs, they need that pass rush. And with the trade deadline being November 5th, there's one name that has been linked with the Lions. It's with Browns defensive tackle Zadarius Smith, who is currently with the Browns. Smith is 32. Excuse me. I got really bad heartburn right now. Smith is 32, joined the Browns in 2023 and just created 10.5 sacks in 24 games. Is he the answer the Lions need? I think so. We don't need someone who can do everything on their own. The Lions need a player that defense need to focus on and creates other opportunities for other linemen, like the ones I said previously, Levi Onwuzurike, James Houston, DJ Reader, Ali McNeil. This is a perfect match for the Lions if it does happen. It has not happened yet. Trade deadline is tomorrow when you're watching this. I don't know if it have already happened or not happened, but it needs to happen. But they don't have to give up that much draft capital for him, which is the double win for a player that's 32. He's been in the league for a while. He's been with the Vikings. He's been with the Packers. But yeah, I think it needs to happen. It's perfect. Last thing on the Lions before we move on, they are now 7-1 for the first time since 1956 and also have won 3 straight at Lambeau since the stretch between 1986 and 1991, and the first time ever with the same quarterback winning 3 times at Lambeau. So congrats to the Lions right now. They're something else, something I've never seen before in my lifetime being a Lions fan. And pretty much everyone else alive in Michigan that's a Lions fan has never seen this before. The Baltimore Ravens took care of business against the Broncos 41-10. Derrick Henry became the 10th player in NFL history to score his 100th and 101st touchdown, while also passing the 1,000-yard marker. It's week 9. Derrick Henry already has over 1,000 yards rushing. He also scored a touchdown each game this season, has scored at least 10 rushing touchdowns in the last 7 consecutive years. The only other 2 players to do that, LaDainian Tomlinson and Adrian Peterson. That's good company to be with on a list. Congrats to Derrick Henry right now. Especially like with the trend running backs have in the NFL right now, the production kind of goes down, usually in their 30s, and this looks like it's Derrick Henry's best year of his career. Why Tennessee let them go, I have no idea, but I bet you right now the state that the Titans are in, they wish they would. The Saints. We're going to get into the Saints right now, who I think are the biggest frauds in the NFL. They started week 1 beating the Panthers. Sure, that was expected. But then week 2, they beat the Cowboys 44-19. Then Derek Carr gets hurt, and they lose some close games to the Eagles and Falcons. They get beat by the Chiefs and Bucks. And you're thinking they really need to get Derek Carr back if they want to salvage anything out of this season with that great start. Derek Carr comes back. And then they lose to the Panthers, 22-23. Now, first game back, I just got to get a little rust off of them a little bit. This is the Panthers, who had only won 1 game before that. Now, the Saints have lost 7 straight. They're 2-7. They're bottom of the NFC South. So, like, I don't understand with the Saints. They had Chris Olave in concussion protocol, again, for the second time in a month. Are they in a selling market right now? They have a day to figure it out. They got 1 day to figure it out. Are they going to trade Alvin Kamara? Get some draft capital, build this thing back up. Because if you remember when the Saints played the Broncos, former Saints coach, Sean Payton, you saw those 2 on the sideline, and it looked like Alvin Kamara was saying, like, hey, come get me. Like, implying is like, hey, come get me out of here. Bring me to Denver before this trade deadline. I don't know if it's going to I doubt it's going to happen, but it's something the Saints have to think about. You would think. So let me know in the comments what you think, what the Saints should do. Should they sell? Should they buy? Is there enough time to make a difference being 2-7, bottom of the NFC South? I don't think so. I think it'd be a waste of draft capital. Joe Flacco is not the answer in Indy. The Colts benched Anthony Richardson indefinitely after tapping out last week's game on a crucial 3rd and goal. Now Flacco went out versus a pretty good Vikings team and went 16-27, 179 yards, 1 interception. What really failed was the lack of running game for the Colts. I think Jonathan Taylor had like 56 total rushing yards. That's not going to cut it. So with Anthony Richardson out, they didn't have to focus. The Vikings defense didn't have to focus on a dual threat quarterback. They just had old Joe out there trying to sling the ball out there. With their disguises and schemes on defense, the Vikings easily took that element out of the game and just had to stop the run, and they did. So I want to get into what's going on in Philly a little bit with Nick Sirianni. going for 3 2-point conversions and not getting any of them. The Jaguars actually came back and had a chance to win this game. Luckily for the Eagles coach, Trevor Lawrence threw that interception in the end zone, because if Trevor Lawrence comes back and beats the Eagles after Nick Sirianni made those bad decisions with the 2-point conversions, I don't think he's the coach come next week. I really don't. That was a bonehead move. Not only did you fail once, I get it, you failed twice. All right, we know we can't do that. Then you did it a third time. You left 3 points on the field. So they were down by 5. They should have been up by 8. And no, that just a bonehead move. Okay, really excited for this, because since our last playoff prediction episode, and everything that unfolded since then, I really wanted to change mine, just with the teams I had in there, and I just think, oh man, we did that way too early. Now being halfway through the season, I want to start doing it again. Starting with the division winners in the AFC, I got Chiefs getting the first round bye. Then I got the Bills, Ravens, and Texans. NFC, I had the Lions having the first round bye. Then the Eagles, Falcons, and Rams. Stafford getting his weapons back. That's huge. With that NFC West being weak as it is, we don't know what the 49ers are going to do when Christian McCaffrey's going to come back. Arizona's hit or miss. So I got the Rams on there right now. AFC wild card, I got Steelers, Chargers, and Bengals. I know I still have the Bengals on here, and with the roster they have, I think they can outbeat the Colts, Jets, Titans, and Dolphins, who are next in line for that last wild card spot. That's why I gave it to Cincinnati. NFC wild card, the Commanders, Vikings, 49ers. The final spot for this one's going to be close, with Green Bay being good as they are. The Bucs might fight for it, come down to one game. If Arizona can make a push, it's going to be even more interesting. But I really do think that the 49ers grab that last spot. So let me know what your picks are for that. It's going to be very interesting. Who should be the MVP? It's not very often you get 2 MVP top candidates on one team, but that's exactly what Baltimore has with Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry. We're at 9 weeks. Like I said, he's already over 1,000 yards rushing. Another player is Jared Goff, just purely based on his consistency and production. He's having an MVP year. Saquon Barkley is making his own case with 925 rushing yards. So now we're going to get into the picks. I will put last week's record right up here with me and Tyler. And we're going to start with the Bengals and Ravens. I got to go with the Ravens right now. The Bengals need a win. It's in Baltimore. Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson's. I can't pick the Bengals here. Can't do it. Lions versus Texans. Yeah, I got to go with the Lions. They're on a roll right now. Texans don't have Diggs. They haven't been having the season we all thought they would have right now. They're really struggling right now. And Lions they're on a different level right now. Taking the Lions. Giants versus Panthers. I got the Giants. 49ers versus the Bucks. I got the Bucks. Just because it's at Tampa. Falcons versus Saints. I got the Falcons. Broncos and Chiefs. Unfortunately, I got the Chiefs. Bills versus Colts. I'm going to take the Bills. Steelers versus Commanders. This is a very good game. I'm going to go ahead and take the Commanders, though. Who do you got? Vikings versus Jaguars. I got the Vikings. Patriots versus the Bears. I'm going to go with the Bears. Titans versus the Chargers. I'm going to go Chargers. Eagles versus the Cowboys. No Dak Prescott. Injured. Eagles. Dolphins versus the Rams. I got the Rams. And that is going to do it. The bye week belongs to the Browns, Packers, Raiders, and Seahawks. The first time a team that has played the Lions the next week hasn't lost because, well, Packers don't play. So we'll see what happens next week with the Packers. So yeah, that's going to do it for this episode. If you haven't already, go ahead and like and subscribe to the channel. When you're done doing that, don't forget to hit that notification bell. That'll give you updates whenever we upload a video. Thinking about doing 2 sessions a week, game, like a week review, a week preview. It's kind of like what we did in the first season when I was with Brett. I want to get that back going just to give you guys more content. That's why these episodes aren't like an hour long. That's what they've been when Tyler's here. So yeah, want to get that more content. That's all I want to do. But stay tuned next week when hopefully Tyler will be here. We'll go through all the action that went down. We'll see how we did with the picks with college and NFL. Hopefully did better than last week. I don't think I did very good. Need to be better. But we'll all see next time. See you then.